The silent strength of Yudhishthira in the Mahabharata is a remarkable quality that plays a vital role throughout the epic, demonstrating his resilience, wisdom, commitment to dharma, righteousness, and self-control. Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, is often overshadowed by his brothers in terms of martial prowess or valor in battle. However, his silent strength, characterized by his moral integrity, patience, endurance, and the burden of responsibility, makes him one of the central figures in the Mahabharata and a key player in its unfolding drama. Yudhishthira's character. Yudhishthira, also known as Dharmaraja, king of Dharma, was renowned for his steadfastness in following dharma, his commitment to truth, and his capacity to remain calm and composed in the face of great adversity. Unlike his brothers, especially Bhima, known for his immense strength, and Arjuna, revered for his archery skills, Yudhishthira's strength lies in his ability to endure, lead, and make difficult decisions with wisdom and moral clarity. While Bhima and Arjuna fought in battles with fierce courage, Yudhishthira fought his own battles with self-discipline and strategic thinking. His silent strength can be described in multiple layers, which reflect the trials he faced throughout his life, particularly in moments of extreme hardship. Silent strength through the dice game. One of the most poignant episodes where Yudhishthira's silent strength comes to the fore is during the infamous game of dice, Dayutakrita. This event, orchestrated by Shakuni, the devious uncle of the Kauravas, led to the downfall and exile of the Pandavas. Yudhishthira's inner turmoil. The game was rigged from the start, and Yudhishthira, out of his sense of duty as the eldest son and king, was compelled to gamble. He lost everything, his kingdom, his brothers, himself, and ultimately, his own honor. Despite the deep humiliation and the growing sense of despair, Yudhishthira did not react violently or rashly. His silent suffering showed his ability to bear pain without showing outward signs of anger or frustration. The silent endurance. When Yudhishthira lost the final stake, himself, he did not protest or argue, but silently accepted the outcome. He did not speak out in anger, even though he was fully aware of the injustice done to him and his family. His silence in this moment reflected his commitment to dharma and his belief that fate and divine will must be accepted. This episode is crucial in understanding Yudhishthira's character. While his brothers, particularly Bhima and Arjuna, were more inclined to act impulsively, Yudhishthira embodied a quiet resolve, and despite losing everything, he did not resort to violence or outbursts. His ability to remain calm in the face of such profound loss showed his mental fortitude and unwavering commitment to truth and righteousness. Silent strength in exile. After the game of dice, the Pandavas were forced into 13 years of exile, with the final year to be spent in incognito. This period of exile was a test of endurance for Yudhishthira and his brothers, but it particularly highlighted his composure and resilience in difficult times. Living in exile, during this period, Yudhishthira, despite the heavy burden of loss, took on the responsibility of guiding his brothers and maintaining their moral integrity. He kept them focused on their ultimate goal, to regain their kingdom, and made wise decisions despite the many hardships they faced. Silent support of his brothers, Yudhishthira's leadership and his ability to provide moral support were crucial during these years. While his brothers at times exhibited frustration and anger, Yudhishthira remained a pillar of strength, offering encouragement through his silence. His strength was not in loud speeches or forceful actions, but in his quiet ability to provide steady leadership in a time of uncertainty. The importance of patience. One of Yudhishthira's most significant attributes during exile was his patience. He taught his brothers the value of patience and endurance, especially during the year of incognito when the Pandavas had to live in disguise. Yudhishthira understood the importance of timing and the need to wait for the right moment to act. His inner peace was an essential quality that kept the Pandavas unified, even in the most difficult circumstances. Yudhishthira and the question of truth. Yudhishthira's sense of dharma was deeply connected to his commitment to truth. Even though he was deeply troubled by the unfolding events around him, particularly the humiliation of his family and the suffering they endured, he chose to always walk the path of righteousness, even if it meant sacrificing personal gain or comfort. The truth about the game of dice: when Yudhishthira realized that he had been deceived in the game of dice, and when he was humiliated by Duryodhana, he chose to accept the results without lying or cheating, even though it cost him dearly. His silent acceptance of the defeat, his unwavering commitment to truth, and his avoidance of any form of dishonesty demonstrated his moral courage. Yudhishthira's role as a king: his role as a king required making difficult decisions that involved weighing personal interests against the welfare of the kingdom and the people. In all his decisions, Yudhishthira upheld his core value of truth, even if it meant facing personal suffering. The silent strength during the Kurukshetra War. When the Kurukshetra War began, Yudhishthira's role became central not only to the Pandavas' strategy but also to the morale of the army. He had to lead his army, make critical decisions, and take part in the most significant battle of his life, but it was his inner fortitude that proved to be his greatest strength. Inner conflict: Yudhishthira was deeply conflicted throughout the war. As a follower of dharma, he was troubled by the bloodshed and the destruction of family ties. His silent sorrow was evident as he struggled to reconcile his role as a warrior and the brutal nature of the war. However, he still remained focused on his duty, bearing the weight of this responsibility with stoicism. The loss of family: Yudhishthira was also profoundly affected by the loss of his elders, teachers, and family members during the war. The deaths of Bhishma, Drona, and Karna weighed heavily on him. Unlike Bhima or Arjuna, who could express their emotions more openly, Yudhishthira silently bore the pain, choosing not to give in to grief but rather to continue in the war for the greater good of the Pandavas and to fulfill his vow to restore righteousness. The silent strength during the final journey. One of the most significant examples of Yudhishthira's silent strength comes at the very end of the Mahabharata, during the final journey to the Himalayas. After the war, Yudhishthira is crowned as king, but he and his brothers, along with Draupadi, eventually decide to abandon their kingdom and embark on a journey to the mountains to attain moksha, liberation. The journey to the mountains: during this final journey, Yudhishthira leads his brothers in silence, facing the hardships of the journey with determination and equanimity. His ability to endure the physical and emotional strains of this journey, knowing that they were walking toward their ultimate goal, again demonstrates his inner strength. The silent departure: when Yudhishthira eventually reaches the gates of heaven, he stands firm in his decision to enter heaven in his mortal form, a decision he makes with quiet strength and without hesitation. His journey symbolizes his spiritual and moral evolution, from a king who upheld justice in the material world to one who sought the ultimate truth and salvation. Conclusion: Yudhishthira's silent strength was not defined by physical feats or grand displays of heroism, but by his moral resilience, patience, wisdom, and commitment to dharma. His strength lay in his ability to endure suffering with grace, to make difficult decisions without resorting to anger, and to maintain a steady course even in the face of adversity. Through his silent leadership, quiet wisdom, and unshakable commitment to truth, Yudhishthira became a symbol of inner strength. His endurance through suffering and his capacity to lead his family through unimaginable challenges were his true contributions to the Mahabharata. In a world full of brash warriors and aggressive kings, Yudhishthira's calm dignity stands as a testament to the strength of those who walk the path of righteousness, even in silence.